after the Blue Jays loss last night. That was absolutely devastating. And that this is coming from someone who is only a playoff fan. I don't, baseball is not my sport. I've never really watched it other than the last time I remember as a kid watching Joe Carter. I remember him hopping around the bases in excitement. But as a Oiler fan as well, a lifetime Oiler fan, and now last night, just that feeling of disappointment is pretty powerful. It's kind of wild how emotional a person gets, and we want to just completely shut down. I was watching the hockey game pre-recorded last night. I was watching the Oilers play, and I could hear it on the speaker system, and the commentators was they were talking about it and updating us, and I just like wanting to skip, not wanting to see anything. I was like, I'm not going on social media ever again either, because I just don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be reminded. And I think the thing that disappointment does is that it causes us to want to disengage. And even as I'm reflecting on some of my teams and watching the Oilers this year, I wonder if they're, after 2 years of disappointing losses in the Stanley Cup final, there's this temptation and this desire to protect the heart and disengage, because it appears that their best, giving their best, didn't work. And I think sometimes when we feel that our best doesn't work, yeah, it's natural for us to want to disengage and protect ourselves from feeling that disappointment again, because I think it begins to play with our identity. And I think one of the ways to get out of that is to not necessarily to not focus on winning, but maybe not focus on winning as the primary, but focus on being winners. To not lose heart of the hope of what it can be to be competitive and to excel and to win. I don't think we need to let go of that competitiveness. I think it's good for us to want to win. I think we just need to be aware that of not focusing too much or primarily on the outcome. And I don't think we can ever, it's always going to hurt. I'm not saying that. I think I'm just saying that it's important for us to come back to the identity piece in those moments of disappointment. Maybe that's where I'm going, is come back to the identity of being a winner. Because the reality of, after 2 years of losses, there's not a team in the NHL right now that has 2 losses in the final series, the Stanley Cup final, under their belt. And so if you think of potential and growing yourself, every time you grow, your potential is that much further. So if I grow this much, my potential goes up there. So my advice in terms of anyone who's experienced disappointment, and for sure the Oilers right now, is to begin to get back into the mentality of being winners. And I know that that's hard, but we need environments of high encouragement for that to happen. And it requires leaders in those moments to be high encouragers, to call people back to an identity, because it's identities that accomplish goals. If our motive and our way of approaching things is simply to try harder, that doesn't work. Or I just have to do this. I have said that so many times, and I think so many people have approached trying to accomplish something with this sense of, if I just try harder. I think we just need to be consistent, get back on in the mindset and the headspace of being winners, so that we can give ourselves a chance again, go back to the final Stanley Cup final one more time, so that we can get to the World Series next year. And these are just my thoughts, my takes. I don't have anything other officially planned, but these are just some of the thoughts that I was journaling and reflecting on myself, who has experienced lots of disappointment, not beyond teams, but in my personal life. And I think it's easy, and I think it's natural for our hearts to want to disengage. So just be aware that disappointment is going to want to that process, I think our heart's going to want to protect ourselves, and so we do that by disengaging. And part of the result of that is maybe we're not giving our best because we feel like our best wasn't good enough. But I think if we can view our best as in like our best got to here and it fell short, but that best of our potential is we have a new level of best in the next year, the next effort, the next try. And so be consistent in trying and leveling up what is your current best.